What a crowd! Hello, welcome back to Fan Expo Vancouver. I am Thor. I will be moderating our very next panel, which features an extremely special guest. Welcome back, everyone. Great to see you. Happy long weekend. And yeah, an amazing crowd we've got here so far. I'll be here all weekend running some of the panels, and we will have an opportunity for all of you to ask your burning questions. And we just ask that you come up in an orderly fashion. We've got 2 mics set up here in the aisles, you can see. And keep your masks on if you can, just to keep things COVID safe and everything like that. And I will start with a couple of questions, and then we'll have an opportunity for all of you to get into it as well. But we're very excited to bring out our next guest. And everybody having a good time today? Yeah. Okay, you know her as one of the most badass assassins in the Star Wars universe. Fennec Shan, please welcome Ming-Na Wen. Come on out! I will give you the mic. Take a seat right here.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Vancouver.
I love Vancouver. I miss Vancouver. I used to work in Vancouver.
Yeah, you had some time here. Stargate Universe, you were here a lot?
I was here for 2 years.
Yeah.
In Stargate Universe. How's everyone doing? What an amazing crowd. It's so fun to have a crowd of people again.
Oh yeah, it's eclectic.
It's awesome.
I don't know where to start. Should we start with Joy Luck Club?
Yes, let's do that.
But you know what? It speaks to your history. I mean, the experience you've garnered during your time on the big screen and the small screen is incredible. Also, the voice of Mulan. You're officially a Disney legend now, by designation.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy that that was bestowed upon me because I don't know, just sometimes when things like that happen in your life, you feel like it's not real, and it's an out-of-body experience, and that's basically been sort of my experience the past 2-3 years with Star Wars and The Mandalorian.
It's funny, Giancarlo Esposito was here a few years ago, who of course plays Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon!
He had a similar out-of-body experience, just being caught up in this Star Wars storm. And you see the people out here, I mean, Star Wars seems to have a special captivation with people, especially at Fan Expo, so we thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Oh, actually, you know what? My husband, who's actually here today, he had gotten me at least 20 or 30 t-shirts of the Book of Boba Fett and Fennec Shan because he was so excited for me because he knows what a huge Star Wars fan I've been, and this had been an absolute dream come true for me. And he's not a geek at all, so he's just extremely supportive. So I wanted to wear this over myself. I'm going to ask for a vote here, okay, and see which one. I have a feeling you're gonna, because I only brought 3 of the 20 or 30. Hold on.
Do you want me to hold them up?
Oh,
okay.
So this one is just Fennec, all right? It's pretty cool. It's all different aspects of it, right? And it's I think Doug Chang helped to do this one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then this one is, of course, got the title.
Kind of comic book style.
Got the boba. Okay, and that's number 2, and it's got Fennec in there. And then this one is more classy, just boba and Fennec in pencil drawing.
Very cool.
So which one should I wear? 1? 2? Or 3? Wow, which one do you think?
It's a toss-up between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
2 or 3? 2? Yeah! 3! That's a 2. I will give him 2. Outstanding, yeah. Good, nice merch there. Okay. We're so thrilled to have you here. And is it true that you're actually going to be getting your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame later this year? Yeah, let's hear it. I mean, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, really. So, it's the only great thing about all this cool stuff that's happening is it's some stuff that I've manifested in my life as far as dreaming about wanting to be in a Star Wars project, right? Dreaming about becoming an actor and having a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So
Unreal. The journey, though, is incredible.
and being, you know, first being an Asian woman, those were two strikes against me. But I'm in Vancouver. I'm with like my Star Wars nerds and my Asians.
You're in the same space.
But then on top of all that, you know, there's ageism too, right? Because I'm no spring chicken. But the great thing is, if I'm an example of what can happen, if I can inspire you guys to go after your dreams, especially the young ones that I've been meeting today. I've met a couple of freshmen of high school.
The younglings.
The youngins, yes. I get so excited when I meet new Star Wars fans because it brings back memories of me being a teenager loving Star Wars. And it's manifesting your own destiny, right? It's fulfilling your own potential. So I'm all about that. If I can inspire that it can happen because it happened to this weird girl nerd here, it can happen to you.
She's living the dream. Okay, I don't want to ask what your favorite Star Wars film is, but I do want to ask you, because I know you're an expert, what is your favorite sequence or scene in any of the Star Wars movies? Because everyone's got like a favorite moment or like an action scene or just like an interplay of dialogue. What do you go to in terms of your favorite Star Wars moment?
Wow.
Like you can choose any of them, like prequels, you know, like the originals.
I think I'd go back to the one where in the original movie, that's now number 4, A New Hope.
New Hope.
When Luke is looking at the binary sunset, right?
And the John Williams score swells.
And his Luke Skywalker theme by John Williams swells up, and it's all about this farm boy feeling like he's never going to be able to do what he wanted. His dreams were going to be squashed, and what would become of, you know, his life. I don't know, that moment, and I think for many of us, it resonates where it's about hoping and wishing for something and feeling like you're defeated, and then suddenly you become the hero, you know? So, so that moment is very special.
Echoes your own story a little bit, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
Tamura Morrison is an absolute force.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've loved that guy since Once Were Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Tem is the bomb.
But I love, there's a balance that you bring to his character. I don't know if everyone's caught up completely. I think they have, but I will avoid spoilers. But there's a key scene in the later in the season for the Book of Boba Fett, where Boba has a confrontation with another classic villain, and Fennec comes out and kind of talks him down a little bit, or gives him some reason. So talk to me about what you bring to the character of Boba Fett and how you two kind of strike that balance in that world.
All right, first of all, how crazy that I'm working with Boba Fett, right?
Yeah. How crazy that Boba Fett's still alive.
Oh yeah, well he's very much, right? And Tem is, I'll tell you a little secret. When I first met Tem, I was petrified. One, because, you know, he's Boba Fett. And two, because he was acting so serious. You know, Tem can put on this really serious persona. And he did it on purpose because he wanted to intimidate me. And then later, like little by little, the man is all heart. And I think that's what he brings to the character. You know, he brings so much empathy and he grounds that character so much. He makes him more human. And I just adore him.
It's fascinating because Boba in the original movies was never developed. He had like a couple of lines of dialogue, and now I think I don't want to say that they softened his image, but I think a lot of people are surprised and delighted at where they're taking his character and the importance of community and a kind of family that he's building. So I think that's a great part of the show. Let's get some questions from people. So in an orderly fashion, if you can, we can just line up to one of the two mics there. Keep your masks on if you can. And because we do have the masks on, let's make sure we're really crowding the mic and really projecting our voice. Before we get to questions and as everyone lines up, I want to talk about your costume. Because it commands such, you just look so badass in it. Like, does that help kind of conjure up the character's characteristics, for lack of a better word, when you're in costume? Because it just looks so cool.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the most amazing part about creating a character is having all the departments, from the hair department to the makeup to wardrobe, to take what's written on the page and make it come to life. And with Fennec, once I saw the costume, because I think Doug Chang and a lot of the designer, John Favreau, and of course Dave Filoni. Who does not love Dave Filoni? Biggest nerd in the world. The costume, first of all, the orange color was so significant for me. And the fact that her name was Fennec, and it's Fennec foxes that comes to mind, and Fennec foxes have that orange coloring in their fur.
And I think they're a desert fox, aren't they?
Yeah, and just all those elements, and that's when it inspired me to want to do something really cool with her hair, because Maria Sandoval, who's an amazing hair person, I came up with this idea of like having these ears in the braids, and she somehow made it happen. And then it became, and then the braid was the tail, and it became this character, and then she felt like she was the assassin, because an assassin should not have flowing hair, like blowing in the wind, right? Especially with the helmet.
It's gonna get caught on something.
It's gonna get caught, and it just became such a treat to create that character. All because of the name, the costume, and the silhouette of her costume. It's very, very noticeable.
I just love that, because Fennec, there's like a name and a concept image, but then you just fill it and bring it to life, and I just think that's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
All right, question time. We'll start on this side. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know your recent work with is Boba Fett, right? We're twinsies, but mine's about bubble tea. For me as a millennial, you're iconic to me because Fa Mulan is quote unquote the badass Disney princess.
Yeah.
So this is personally why I'm here, and my question to you is that diversity inclusion is very important, especially for young women of color, obviously. So what is your advice to them and to others who look like us, to go in this industry and to have more representation on film?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in white suburbia. After coming from, I was raised in Hong Kong, but I was really, really young, and so most of my formidable years was in Pittsburgh. And I think there were many, many times when I felt, as an Asian American, that I felt like I was not part of the larger group, that I was not part of, my community in many ways. And so I did a lot to try to push away from my culture and push away from my identity. I wanted to anglicize my name. Not that there's anything wrong with anglicizing your name. Your name is your name, and you have to love it and identify with it. But I had a very strange name, Ming-Na Wen. And, but it just never felt right. So it's taken me this long, decades later, to recognize that you need to love who you are, embrace what you can offer, and hell, being Asian, I mean, we got good skin. we stay young looking for a really long time, and that's really great. But I think the more you understand who you are and what you can offer and what you can bring to the table, And the more confidence you have about that, the more it becomes universal. And people will feel that confidence and make them respect and accept you as you are. And that's all we all want, right? All these stories, all these fantasy figures that we love to cosplay with, so many of them are always just about searching their self-worth and their identity. And that's what I would say, is just love who you are, because you're perfect.
There you go, beautiful. Thank you so much for that question. I will say we're not going to get to everyone's questions, and that's partly my fault because I spent the whole first 15 minutes blabbing. I'm sorry, truly, but we'll get to as many as we can, and we'll go on this side now. Go
And
ahead.
I'll keep my answer short. Okay, go.
First, to echo a bit about that representation matters. I know I talked about how when I was growing up, you were probably the first person I saw that looked like me in the media that I consumed. So I'm just wondering, for you, who was that for you growing up? Did you see yourself in anyone in particular while you were growing up?
I saw myself in certain characters, but for me, I think Asian characters were hard to come by. I mean, we had the Bruce Lees, representations with martial arts, and I embrace that now too. That's our art form, damn it, and we should be proud of it because it's a beautiful art form for everything that it offers philosophically as well as physically. But I love Sigourney Weaver, I love, strong women, but I just always look to my mom. My mom was my idol, so.
Nice one. Yes, go ahead over here.
I'm Ming-Na.
Hi.
My name's Cody.
Hi, Cody.
And first off, I'm gonna say you're a badass. So thank you for that.
Can you say it louder for my husband?
Your wife's a badass. Just agreeing with Thor with that too. So, so I guess you have a great relationship with Disney, being in a few of their projects, shows, and movies.
Paid for my house.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a lovely place. So I know DC is kind of the rival of Marvel and Disney, of course. Is there a character you would love to play or like to play for either it's the DCEU or animated or any projects?
I have crossed over to DC. I was in one of the Batman series. I think it was just called The Batman. And I played Detective Yin in it. This was a few years back. So I have crossed over. But heck, if DC calls me up, I'm more than happy to put on a DC cap. I don't think the rivalry is just within those worlds. For me as an actor, it's just all about creating a great character or having fun. So I think all those worlds are very valid and wonderful, and they offer incredible escapism for all of us. So yeah, DC, call me.
We got our number. Go ahead on this side.
So, what was it like filming in the volume as opposed to, green screen or physical sets?
Physical what?
Physical sets or green screen, like filming in the volume like they did.
Did you hear what I heard?
No, I didn't, but your mind is clearly in the gutter.
Physical sets. Okay. You guys know, right?
There's a lot of technologically innovative things happening with the visual effects on
Yes.
those productions.
Well, if you've ever been to Disneyland, Disney World, or any amusement parks where you're immersed in, the massive picture, like what is that one, soaring,
Like the wings over
something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it's like that, but a million times more vivid, because the images are so saturated and so digitally enhanced that when you're in it, you are you are in that world, and it's incredible. It really helps an actor not to just have green screen and you have to use your imagination. You know, when Boba Fett and I were trying to get his ship back, when we were in that volume, we were looking at his ship, and it looked massive, you know? So you can't help but react to it. And when it was taking off, and they were blowing that Beyonce fan wind at me, you know, it's like, you just react because it's like, it's a ship, whatever the name of it is now these days, I don't know.
That's
Starfire.
right. It's just Boba's ship. That's right. We'll leave it at that.
Boba's ship.
Thank you so much, and we'll take one over here.
Hi, good afternoon, Miss Melinda May.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. My name is Reggie, and I'd like to start off by saying it's my greatest honor to see you in person today and to actually ask you a question. Because back in the Philippines, I was only watching you in movies like Mulan and Join the Club, and recently is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I really, really love. That I've started subscribing to Disney Premium. And my wife even says that when she sees you with that Melinda May look, you have a really, really good projection on the TV screen. Yes, I love that act. So, thank you so much for giving us Melinda May. Now my question is, throughout these you have portrayed very great characters, and which one do you really love and you will be willing to do over and over again?
Well, if this body holds out, you know. I would love to. I miss being, you know, the cavalry. I miss being Agent May. So yeah, that would be amazing to reprise that role. And I mean, that's why I loved, like, even when I did that cameo for the live action Mulan. You know, it was just such a touchstone moment to pass the baton and to be part of it, because you know, I have so much history with all those characters. I spent 7-8 years being Melinda May, you know, so all of them. But like right now, my baby is Fennec Shand. I absolutely love being Fennec Shand. Yeah.
Can you make me an honorary Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. agent by asking the iconic line, for example, Agent Reggie, are you willing to comply? Can you just do that for me, ma'am? This is my chance. Thank you so much, Miss Ming-Na Wen.
It's worth a try. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead on this side.
In the book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, is the Grogu puppet as cute as it looks?
Cuter. It is so hard to work with him on set. Number one, he's an absolute diva. All right? I'm telling you, hardest character to work with. No. He does have an entourage, though. He really does. He's got like 4 puppeteers, as well as a slew of other parts of him that works together, and it's incredible. They're so talented. But Grogu is, once he starts moving, he is alive, and it's amazing. I mean, it's very hard to keep that Fennec Shand face when he's on set, because all I just want to do is just pinch his cheeks.
Thanks so much. I think it was so important to have a physical, you know, like physical character versus like a digital creation. For someone like Grogu, who has to, you know, conjure up a lot of emotion and things like that, it has to take a physical presence in camera to really make it work.
That's so true. I mean, as good as CGI is, it does somehow lack the human element, which,
Yeah,
you know, all the
tangible.
puppeteers and all of them, like, they really bring to that character. I mean, that, and in a way, I mean, not to say anything bad about, because I love all the Pixar movies, and, you know, I cry at all of them, but, you know, there was something beautiful about the 2D animation, and Mulan, you know, kind of incorporated definitely the 2D plus the new CGI that was coming out.
Yeah, that's right. That was a big turning point in animation.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take one over here.
Hi, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
I'd like to go back a bit to Street Fighter. And
Yes.
especially the scene with you in the dress and Raul Julia, and that's become very iconic now for me it was Tuesday quote, and if you could talk about your memories of that.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It was my first big film project, and it was my first big like action movie, and I had no idea the amount of work that went into making an action movie. I mean, we were training morning, noon, and night before we started shooting, so you know, it was tough. But Raul Julia was a gem of a human being, and he was already, you know, not well at that time, but he really wanted to do this character and do this movie because his kids loved Street Fighter so much. So I loved, you know, every minute of it. I loved filming it. I had a lot of fun training and hanging out with the guys and with Kylie Minogue, who played Cammy, and I have very fond memories of it. Yeah, Raul Julia was amazing, very inspirational.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of nice to be in a scene with that iconic moment. It's really cool.
Awesome, thank you very much.
That was all pre-social media and memes too.
That's right.
All right, go ahead over here.
Hi, I'm Madeline. I love Fennec and I want to see more of Fennec. And I was just curious.
How much more? It's my Ming-Na windows, okay?
If Fennec were
Such
to
a
have
nerd.
her
I am
own
such a
show-
nerd. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt.
If Fennec were to have her own show, what would you want to see as the main plot for season 1?
You're asking the wrong person.
And she does deserve her own show.
Aw, serious?